yet they've been able to affect some pretty good quarterbacks in the SEC. Just what you got to watch on film, why they've never believed.
I think the guys up front that they have are big physical guys. They're good at moving their fronts around, causing pressure and movement for the quarterbacks. And then the secondary, the guys that they have in the secondary, the speed and the coverage skills that they provide for their team. It's an incredible defense. So I think all around, overall, they're just so polished on every end in their categories of positioning that that's why they're so good.
I'm just curious too, when y'all prepare for this ball game, how much y'all go back and watch the film or video of their roller ball games Oklahoma last year and try to pick up different things?
You know, we haven't gone over a whole lot of their last year stuff. We've been focusing on what they've been doing this year, more recently. But I'm sure that's something that we'll turn on here in the next few days before we get ready to go.
Drew Brees said the other day that you went to his camp in Orlando. What was that experience?
It was great. He invited obviously his alma mater, our high school, out there. It's like a 3-day deal where the first day was instructional drills. Got to throw the ball around with him, which is obviously was a dream come true. And then next few days were tournament play for 7-on-7 for high school kids, for our high school teams, and we actually won his tournament, which was pretty cool. But it was a really cool experience to be there with him and represent his alma mater at his camp.
Was that 2 years ago?
That was, shoot. I think, no, that was 3 years ago. Three summers ago, yeah.
Has he reached out to you since you've been here?
Yeah. He sent me a text message the day before we were heading up here and just reached out. Knew that we were going to be heading out to his city and was just paying his respect and just catching up.
Is there any significance playing in the building where he's set so many records and had some significant roles?
Absolutely. I think that obviously he's a Hall of Famer, and there's a lot to be said that we went to the same high school. I think it's really cool that I'm able to do that, and I have pride in the fact that I went to his high school and then to be able to play in the Superdome where he's just absolutely gone off and set records and done those things for the Saints organization is really, really cool.
You're not necessarily the same style of quarterback, but what were you able to learn from him at the time?
I really value and idolize his throwing motion, his accuracy, and how quick he gets the ball out. I think being around him and seeing how quick he gets the ball out and how tight his mechanics are was something that helped me to understand to continue to work on those things.
Sam, did you face any defenses that were similar to Georgia in terms of scheme this season?
I think that the Big 12 does a good job of changing up what they do from team to team. I think that Georgia changes it up a little bit up front. They like to switch their fronts around. Coverage-wise, they run some similar things that we have seen this year, just because we face so many different styles of defenses in the Big 12.
Georgia's talked a lot about your running style, that you're not a quarterback that's going to slide. Is that just the way it's going to be from you here on out, or will there come a point in your career where you'll maybe slide a little bit to protect yourself?
You know, I've told myself when I'm not in the pads that I should slide more, and then when the lights come on and adrenaline's running and the crowd's yelling, it's really hard for me to just take that instinct away. But I think that moving forward, as I get older and my body can't handle things like that and hits like that hopefully I'll learn.
Sam, obviously Georgia's not going to have DeAndre Baker. What else do they have in the secondary? What kind of threats do they kind of play?
Well, the fun thing about playing a school like Georgia is when they lose a first rounder like DeAndre, another one's replacing him, and that's what's really cool about playing big teams like this is it doesn't really matter the name that you're playing. Obviously, he's an incredible player, but you're always going to be facing the top-tier athleticism, top-tier athletes, and so I think that everywhere that you look out on their defense, they're all athletic. They're all heavily recruited guys, and they've done a good job of just playing really well all season.
Sam, how many times have your paths crossed with Jake Fromm?
A lot actually. I'm very good friends with Jake. We've texted a few times since we've been here. Met up with him a couple times, probably 5 to 6 times at camps in the past throughout high school and throughout college, and we always have a good time together, and I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Why do you think y'all hit it off so well?
He's a really great dude. I mean, everyone that I've talked to loves being around him. He's a really easy guy to like, and I think that we love talking the game, and we've seen each other a lot and been to a lot of similar camps, so we've been around each other.
Sam, did you see the video of Andrew signing to the kids at the hospital?
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you know he was signing? What did you think of it?
Yeah. So I since I lived with him, I knew what classes he was in and the things that he liked to do outside of football, and I know he's been heavily involved with his classes with hand signing and things of that nature, sign language. So yeah, I did know that, and I thought that was really, really cool, and I'm really glad that he was able to make those folks happy by being able to communicate like that.
In terms of your rapport with LJ in college this year, just how much it's improved, is there one moment, maybe it was in a game, in practice or something like that, that you can point to where it started clicking and you were like, we could have a really good year?
You know, I mean, when you have guys like LJ and Colin, it's you're just waiting to find that momentum during the season where you're just connecting, and I think that as we started to work together more, I don't know necessarily what game it was or if there was really a moment, because they've each had their games where they were clicking. But I think probably fall camp when we really started working together, and getting our confidence together with each other, is when things started clicking. We realized that we could be pretty special.
Sam, what's the biggest key to this game?
Biggest key? I think for us, offensively, I think the biggest key for us would be staying on the field on third downs. Obviously, Georgia, they're only averaging around 60-something snaps per game, and that's a credit to them being able to get off the field on third down. I think that they do an excellent job of getting teams off the field, so we have to stay on it, and we have to keep our defense off the field and move the ball down the field. We need to score touchdowns as well.
Sam, obviously, I know you guys have that want-to-know mentality, but this is the Sugar Bowl, and this is a big opportunity for you guys to get 10 wins and first time in double digits in many years. You know, how do you balance with it's want-to-know, but this is kind of a big stage for you guys?
I don't think that really ever needs to be talked about. I think growing up, everyone on our team understands how big these games are, and growing up watching how big these games are and how the environment's so cool and the type of teams that are able to play in these environments. So while we do preach the want-to-know mentality, I think everybody understands the magnitude of this bowl game, being in such a great environment. Also just playing really, really good teams. Being able to play against a team like Georgia, who played the national championship last year, obviously has had a great year this year. I think that it balances itself out, because while we're all focused on going 1-0 and being the best that we can be every day, we also know who we're playing and where we're playing.
And isn't it a little bit different? No offense to Houston, you're going 3 hours down the road last year. You get on a plane, you're on a huge plane, first-class seats. I mean, it's got to be like a slightly different feel to this one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we understand that, because I don't want to. The Texas Bowl did an outstanding job, and I don't ever want to discredit any bowl game, because like Coach said, any bowl game's a good one. But just the way that we've been treated here, and being in a different environment, of course, different from our state that a lot of guys were from, is really cool for us. And being able to go on that big plane was really cool as well. So I think all the things that we're being able to experience are really, really cool for the guys.
Talking about this program's journey, do you think that the Texas Bowl was as big for that team last year as the Sugar Bowl is for y'all now? in terms of making progressions, making steps, continuing the upward trajectory?
That's a good question. I didn't really ever think about that, and I haven't. But I think that last year the Texas Bowl did kind of give us momentum moving forward and recruiting and looking forward to the next season. Obviously, having a better year than we had in recent years, and having a winning season and ending the year on a high note, bringing motivation into the off season. So I think this, if this is the step that we need to take to move ourselves forward like the Texas Bowl did last year, then I think I didn't even think about it like that, but I think that is pretty logical. That kind of makes sense. I think that because this is an elite game, this is an elite team, and I think winning this game would put us in a position to understand that next year we have the ability to do whatever we want to do as long as we continue to play and work every day like we have throughout this season.
What's impressive, and you obviously playing as a true freshman, it's different playing quarterback versus running back as a freshman, but what's impressed you the most about what Keontae's been able to do this year?
Yeah, Keontae's a very special player. We saw that in fall camp when he first got to UT. I think that he's had an excellent year from a freshman perspective. But the cool thing about Keontae is he's never content. He's even after games he'll have a couple touchdowns. He's never content. And he's always trying to figure out ways to get better. And I think that's what makes him so talented and so special. Because obviously he has the instincts, he has the speed, he has the quickness, and everything that you look for in elite running backs. But he also has that drive to be better and to be great. So I think that's what's going to escalate him forward.
Yesterday, Trey Watson said that he thinks Keontae Ingram is a future Heisman Trophy winner. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Keontae is completely capable of doing that. I think that he showcased some of those moments this year, and I think he'll continue to get better. I'm really excited for what he can do in the future.
What do you bring to the room this year with his experience?
Yeah, just bringing an elderly presence to the room. A guy that's been around college football for a lot longer than anybody else there. Was huge for that room. He just brought. I mean, he's just every time you see Trey, he's smiling. Like there's never a dull moment with him. He always brings positivity in the room and makes everybody work hard in that room.
Sam, could you talk about Andrew back and what he's meant to this team this year and staying healthy and how he's progressed this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, he's a guy that obviously didn't get to play last year because of an injury. Came in this year and was immediately one of the greatest leaders on this team, elected captain for a reason. He's done a great job of being a voice for our offense and our team. He's a very disciplined guy. He makes sure everyone does everything the right way on and off the field, and I can't credit enough to him on how he's taken care of the younger guys as well as the older guys and motivated them to be great everywhere.
What jumps out on film when you look at Georgia? When you first started watching tape, what were some of the first things you noticed?
I think up front, their size. They're a very big team up front, and then in the back end, they have really good speed. They play the ball really well. They're good cover guys as well. I think just overall their versatility. Because sometimes when you're watching film on teams, you're like, oh well, they don't stop the run very well, or they're kind of small on the back end. There's no holes in this Georgia defense. They do well everywhere.